146, 147. Float int string and evaluate, which evaluates a string as an expression. Let's do date convert to.py. Let's jump onto this. So date convert to.py. This is going to be all right. Let's just walk through this and check it out. So this converts day, month, and year numbers into two date formats. So we got def main here. So we're going to get the day, month, and year. So we're going to evaluate that. Day, month, year numbers. All three in separate ones. So date 1 gets the string of month plus that plus the string of day, right, plus that again, plus string of year. Months can be a list. String of day. I like to keep spaces. We call main. All right, so let's check out what this is doing. Day, month, year. So we're evaluating these. Let's test them. You know, we'll separate them by commas. Let's try not to separate them by commas, right? Let's see if that's one thing we can do as far as user input. A string of month plus, and then this is just the format, because we concatenate, expressions that convert to strings with strings, which is awesome. and that's that plus sign there, and they turn into strings. And then all the way, all those, and then month string gets months of month minus 1, which is the index, right? So month would be, let's say this is 12. This is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The index is 11. It's going to be months with an index of 11 because the 12 minus 1 is 11. So it's going to go here. And that's what we did, month minus 1. Day 2 gets month stir, which is a string, right? So December plus a space plus, 10 plus comma, no space, right? Plus, and the string here. Very simple. And the date is date 1 or date 2. All right, that's pretty simple, straightforward. Formula, page 147. And so let's check it out. So 12 to 2012. Nice. Let's run it again. That was fun. Run. Let's do a space. Let's see if it works with a space. So 12 3 2020. Oh, it's got to be commas. Let's make it easier. Let's make it easier. I was pretty sure we're gonna have an error, but let's just make it easier. There you go. Makes it a little easier, right? Each separated by a comma. Then we know we have to separate them by a comma, right? So it's going to be, okay, so day is 12, month is 3, and then year is 2023 or something. There it is, 3/12/2023 or March 12, 2023. Great. Works well for me. Yeah, it's a really good one. 5.8.2 is string formatting. There's a change counter here. We've got a little like a template string should specify where to put in the parameters, which is on page 149. 150 left justification, right justification, and centered. So the little arrow on the left is just gonna hug the left. So it's like, I guess to remember it, I try to remember it like a magnet, where it's like it just pulls, so it pulls left. And it kind of looks like it's gonna pull left, right? So let's exit out of this. Open this. All right. Well, let's just copy this. I like to copy stuff just to get that process going, right? I mean, especially with something like coding. I mean, with most things though, like math. I mean, really anything. It's like you don't want to really passively learn the stuff. You want to really get in there and practice it. Write it down. So yeah, it pulls left. So it's left justification, which is a colon, which is just showing us what's happening. But this thing here is doing all the work. It's going to be this thing dot format, and then it's going to be hi. What does that mean? Yeah, so it's the colon. So what that does is it left justifies us, 5. So are there 5? Let's just count. think that's like 3. It's actually 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that what it is? There's 5 characters from there to there. And a lot of times I like to look at just the other stuff too, just for comparison, right? And then we can sort of figure that out. All right, so right justification, colon. I like to learn things on the picture too, because it's much easier to understand with examples. I think a lot of things are, at least how my brain works, than actually like being explained. Sometimes if it's explained, it just it doesn't really resonate as much, because the person has to explain it clearly. I have to perceive it clearly, and then also I have to take that writing and translate it to speaking. So it's a right justification. 0. So then yeah, I see. So that's what it is. Yeah. So it left justifies the word high, because that's what's connected to the method of format. So it's going to left justify high, and the length or the width of that string that starts with the H, because it's left justified, is going to be 5 characters, right? 2 characters for HI, 1 for the exclamation point, and then 2 more after that. Well, now the magnet is pulling it right? That's at least how I take it conceptually. Is it pulls it right? Because remember, the word right justification is not going to be written, in your work, in your app probably, or your website probably, or whatever you're creating with programming. So I just try to remember it. So I look at it as like, those round things that like they're like magnets, and they like suck like wrenches, like on old cartoons. They like would suck a bunch of like pull a bunch of like wrenches and metal items, like or like in movies and stuff. That's kind of how I look at it. So it pulls it left, right, and this pulls it right. It's pretty understandable. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then let's go here. So it's 4, 5. Remember, it's going to be 5, and then there's an extra space here. So that makes it 6, right? So, and the same thing happened here. There's already an extra space here, so we only had 5 here. So this part. So this is the formatter, I believe. So let's do centered. Next obvious move, centered, colon, 0, colon, caret 5. Format. Okay, centered high. So this is centered. So it's centered 5 characters. So we get 1 and then 1, right? Because this is part of the centered, because that's that right there, right? So it's going to be 1, 2, and then 3 characters in the middle. So that makes it 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. All right, that makes sense. And this caret going up makes sense, right? You got pulling left, pulling right, and then centering, standing straight up, right? Like a sentinel, that's just like standing straight up. So better change counter. Let's do the better change counter in the next video. All right, thanks a lot.